Good evening to you. Welcome to another What's Up Wednesday. Hard to believe that another week has gone by and we're in another month of summer. And that is our topic tonight on dealing with summer heat, running the AC 24/7 off of one of three systems, really: your generator, your shore power, or a lithium battery. Welcome to What's Up Wednesday. My name is Scott. Thanks for joining me. Really appreciate that. I see some familiar names in the crowd already tonight. And this is really going to be a community discussion tonight because I only know two of those three ways to get power to run the AC 24/7. So for those of you that have a generator-based electrical system in your van, not plugged into shore power, I'm going to ask for you to really participate tonight because I really don't know what that experience looks like. We're going to talk about the other two, well, lithium in particular. Boy, I'm a little juiced up today. This is been a crazy week from the start, and this is what we're going to talk about. And let me zoom in here for you. So again, it's lithium versus generator for summer travel. We're going to have a libation live from the Harvest Host site, and we're going to have a song of the week, of course. Libation live comes from the Harvest Host site that I'm staying at right now, which is pretty awesome. And we may start libation live a little early tonight. Why? Well, because, oh my gosh, where's my cursor? Right here. Because this is how my week started. This is my Monday morning, and if anybody's been through this process, you know what a crappy experience it is, and my tongue is firmly planted in my cheek. This is my first one of these, and let me tell you, whoa. So the good thing is it's helped my diet program, I guess, but what else we got going on? So tonight's about our topic and then live Q&A. So everything's free game. We have no guests tonight. And again, we're kind of leaning on the audience here. We've got a lot of regulars. If you're new to the program tonight or you're new to the channel, please type in NEW. What we want to do is recognize you. Excuse me. I just had a bad cough before I went live, so it's still catching up with me. And if you need some ideas on topics, let me zoom in here for you. And these are things that are on the table tonight for sure. And so yeah, video time points, I'm a little behind on that. Viewer recommendations, if you got those, send them in on, we'll talk about that a little bit later, but we're taking your suggestions via email. There's an email address you can reach me at right there, down below, GSLL recommendation at gmail.com. And if you find value in any of the stuff we covered tonight, I sure would appreciate a tip. You get a little ring in the jar, and that helps pay for my Libation Live and other great habits. So sure appreciate that. Don't feel obligated though. Certainly if you join us every week. Although this could be like a PBS, NPR contribution, right? Or Netflix, just look at it like that. Form on my website if you want to join the show live. We're actually kind of auditioning folks to talk about their van experience live. So we've had a few of you on here, excuse me, and that's what that's about. So you can hit me up on my website. So let me talk to you about where I'm coming at you from tonight. I'm coming at you from Benton Harbor, Michigan. You're like, where in the hell is that, right? Yeah, I never heard of it either. This is the actual shot of the brewery, Harvest Host site, which is just across the street. What am I doing over here? Well, we got Volta Campout coming, and it starts in just a couple of days, August 4. Well, that'd be tomorrow. So I was trying to get up there tonight, and there's been some really bad storms coming through and a really bad crash on Interstate 80 that was like almost a 1 hour delay getting through on the side that was not had the crash on, jackknife semi. So anyway, that's where I'm headed. I'm super excited because it's going to be just a crazy week. I know many of you, well, some of you are going, some of you tried to go, and I'm just really pumped because the Russos are going, the Wall Smiths are going, I'm clearly going, and I'm doing two talks, one on route planning secrets and one on living on lithium with Jack Johnson, the CTO and co-founder of Volta. So I'm super honored to be a part of the action. Really, really great stuff there. Excuse me. Here's my van. This is the Harvest Host site that's in the parking lot across from the brewery. That's a pond. Let me zoom in here for you so you can see that. And I just love these places because they take me places, Harvest Host does, that I wouldn't normally go. This is where it's located, just kind of around the lake. You can see Holland there. I'm about an hour away from Holland. And this is the Harvest Host sites around the, this is Lake Michigan. Chicago's kind of down the bottom fourth there. And if you're not familiar with Harvest Host and you have a van, an RV, and you haven't signed up for Harvest Host, I really think you should need to investigate that carefully. You can go to my website, gosmalllivelarge.com, and there's an essential reference there. You'll save 15%. And every dot you see here is a place you can stay for free. And now, like the brewery here tonight, they kind of expect you to go buy a beer. And that's okay because that's what we're about. So that's where I'm coming at you from. And let me show you the weather. I was like to share the weather with you. It's really pretty mild, except it's really humid. It's like, it's really humid. It's like really uncomfortable. So AC overnight, be 72 degrees overnight. It's pretty hot throughout the country again. I mean, it is summer, so kind of surprised, right? That's what Benton's going to be like tonight. Here's the gas prices in Benton Harbor. $3.77 a gallon. Welcome to Michigan. And it's at least $1 more expensive in Illinois, kind of anywhere you go. I actually paid $3.66 a gallon at a non-Costco location in just outside of Madison, Wisconsin. You drive across the border and it goes up $1, just like that. It's just insane. Today I paid $4.13, I think, at Costco, coming out of Chicagoland at Naperville. If you want to buy a house in Benton Harbor, I hope you have a big wallet because they kind of start at like 160. I'm sure that's a starter. But really over by the lake, everything is $1 million plus. It's pretty interesting. Again, I've never been here before, so I don't really know much about the area, but it's kind of fascinating, which kind of leads us to where are you watching from? We're going to do a shout out here in just a couple minutes. I see a lot of familiar faces, but we want to just call them out. We always like to do that in our program because it's the way we roll, right? But if you are tuning in from a country we haven't seen in a while, please give us your country because we'd love to plant a flag literally on this map for next week's show. It's kind of a global program. I think every continent's been represented. I was thinking of Africa. Greenland, Iceland, I don't think we've seen that one yet. Is that a continent even? I'm not sure. Probably. I don't know. I live in a van. What do I know? And hey, we got some cool things coming up content-wise. For those of you that have been around a while and you've heard me about some of my content plans, and they've kind of been all over the place, I'm happy to say that I've hired an editing team. And the video you're going to see on Sunday is our first collaborative effort. And this is the thumbnail. So I'm investing heavily into putting out more and better content, and this is step one. So join me for the premiere on Sunday, August 7th, 4:40 p.m. Central. It's a van tour of a Road Trek Zion Slumber. It's a really cool van, and it has a king-size bed on the ground floor, that has a pop top as well. So I'm really excited about that. And by offloading the van tours to the editing team, I can do some of these more creative things I've been talking about for a long time. Let's see, Route 66, camper van travel guides. So at least these guys will give me a baseline. Investing heavily in the channel, which is what I like to do. Okay, just a couple more things. Yes. So guests. You've been around for a while. You know we have about a guest a month. I'm working really hard to get Wingham on here. They've kind of gone silent on me, so I hope that's not a bad thing. But on September 7th, we got the CEO of Harvest Host coming on. I can't wait. Joel is the coolest cat. And in October, we got Jack Johnson, whom some of you will meet for the first time or see again. He's coming on October 12th to talk about living on lithium and some lithium trends and some Volta specific tech talk type stuff. Really excited. I'm working really hard to get these folks lined up. I've got a good beat on Road Trek and a really great beat on Pleasure Way. And a pretty good beat on Pro Camp. This was a suggestion by one of you. So guess in the works. And if you have a suggestion, some of you have made some really good recommendations. Some of them are pretty big asks. I'm not sure if we get President Biden on here or not, but wouldn't that be cool? So let's get Donald Trump. He's always looking for a platform to talk. So I don't know. If you have a suggestion, again, hit me up on the email there. I'm a little cheeky today. Hey, if you're having a good day, give us a thumb up already. Sure appreciate that. If you're having a crappy day, like my Monday started with, that means just give us an extra thumb up. Really appreciate that. Okay, let's say hi to some folks. And this is just my favorite day of the week. It's like my Friday night, and it's just great. So we got Karen in the house. from Toasty Spokane. Yeah, it's like in the high 90s, right? Here's Tang Fish, some North Carolina. Good to see you, sir. Thanks for joining us. Here is Matthew. Finally pulled the trigger and bought a. Oh, this is what this means. Van, not fan. All right, so you finally pulled the trigger and bought a van. Congratulations, sir. I appreciate. Congratulations to you. That's amazing. Excuse me. Thanks for all you do. Help in the decision process more than you can know. Hope to see you out on the road. Thank you for that, and it's just an honor to be part of your journey. Many of you know my We're the Russos are my heroes, and the Keep Your Daydream team, and many others. And it's just an honor to be part of your life-changing event there. Let us know what kind of van you bought. Super important. Let's see, we got JK in the house. Rochester Hills, is that on the Detroit side? Because I'm rolling into Detroit, I think next 2 weeks, mid-August, or mid-August. Ron's in the house. Good to see you, sir. Kathy and Jeff, Wisconsin, Bayfield. I love Wisconsin. I just came out of there. I could stay a month in Wisconsin. You guys have a cool state. There's Rich. Sir, I'm going to need your help with the generator tonight, because I know for sure your rig is generator equipped, not lithium, so you can help us out with that. Here's Gary in the house. Catherine from Palatine, very cool. Indy in the house. Seal Beach, California. Mud Pie's in the house. And so this is Dale saying, he's got a 4th battery module in his 2022 GL. Good job, sir. Thanks for sharing, and way to step up. What he's talking about is, for those of you familiar with Winnebago Travado, there was a National Park Edition, which had 4 of the battery modules in the battery pack. I only have 3. And what the 4th one gives you is about 30% more of everything. So, for example, I'm actually another What's Up Wednesday powered by Volta. I'm at 70% state of charge, and if I had a 4th battery in there, it would probably be at 90%. And Costco, $5 a gallon. Crazy Brian in the house, and got Ohio Sharon, Denham, and Jim from Tennessee. Love Tennessee. Good to see you, sir. Costco at $3.89. Yeah, see, it's cool, crazy. Tim's in the house. Steve from Louisville. Jane. So bummed we're not gonna see you guys this week. Hope everything's going okay for that situation. And Larry's in the house. Deborah. All right, so got a lot of fun. Man, I got a little piece of jerky caught in my throat earlier, and that's my problem. Do you guys like jerky? This is kind of my go-to driving food, because it's nibbles. You can nibble it, drink water, it fills you up, and because it's hot and spicy, it keeps me awake. But I flicked anyway, so I got a little piece of that caught in my throat. Hey, here's Mark. Coachman Novus 20C. Good job, sir. That's a beautiful rig and new. So welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Really appreciate that. That is so great. Let me just look for a few things. So again, if you have a question, there's a couple ways to get your question answered for sure. If you can help us out here and put the 3 question marks placed before your question, then that will help me find it more readily. Or if you have a really pertinent comment, certainly anything around our topic tonight, which is on running the AC in summer heat travel, lithium versus generator. I'm really want to hear from you on that topic. 3 question marks helps me find you. The other way is to do the super chat, and you get a little ring in the till. So right by the text field is a $, and you can punch that, and then you get to choose how much you donate, tip. Every $1 helps, and don't feel obligated unless you find some value here, but I sure do appreciate that. And it shows up in bright color, so you're certain to get your question or comment elevated. All right. So let's do this. So we got a lot of folks in here. This is so great. Boulder, Colorado. I haven't seen Deborah. Good to see you. Okay, so let's roll with the topic tonight. And here's what I'd like to do. The topic is lithium versus generator in summer heat. And why this is important is because it really has hit me just in the last, I'd say less than a month, how important this topic is. because I think if you're traveling in the summer, you really need to think this through. And it's a community discussion tonight because, again, so on the left is the Volta system in my case. Lithionics is what's in a Revel, and it's what's in the Coachman band products. Some proprietary systems, like Mastervolt goes into a Thor, and Victron goes into some of the craft builders. So Lithium, we'll just call Lithium in general, versus the generator. And it's really, again, a community discussion because I only know a Lithium experience. I have no clue on the generator. And the discussion we want to have is running the AC 24/7 for days in a row. Now, this doesn't mean that the compressor is running 24/7 because it goes on and off based on the temperature when there's a call to the compressor to spin up to put some cold air into the cabin, right? But you have to be running your rooftop AC 24/7 to make that happen. So, again, there are owners of both systems in the house tonight in this live stream. So I'm going to be leaning on those of you that are traveling in the summer for at least 3 to 5 days with a generator to explain what your experience is like. Now, why are we doing this? Am I trying to sell Volta systems here? Not really. What I'm trying to do here is for our community, which is growing like crazy right now, it's so awesome, is this. Help the buyer understand before they make a decision on a van, how do they want to travel in the summer when it's hot and humid? You saw the temperatures here where I am, and you saw the temperatures across the country. It's hot and humid everywhere. So if you haven't bought a van yet and you're at the decision point, should I invest 20 or 25 grand into a lithium system because I'm not going to run the AC very often, or just go for the generator option? And I think having this discussion tonight will help people understand how important thinking that through, really putting an exclamation point on why do you want to travel? Why do I want to travel? Because I want to go see things in the summer in hot weather. And if you don't have a lithium system, are you running from campground to campground so you can plug in and get some air conditioning because you're not wanting to run your generator, or you can't run your generator for 5 days, 24/7? Helping the buyer understand that, I think, is what I'm after tonight. So I'm going to share with you my situation because I know it best, and that's traveling on Volta Lithium. And if you have a lithium system of good quality, Lithionics, Mastervolt, Volta, I'm a bigot. I am biased. Volta is the best in my opinion for a lot of reasons. But I'm going to share my experience with you now. And then I'm going to ask those with generators to please comment below, and we'll pull those out specifically so we can understand what your experience is like when you're traveling days on end in hot weather needing AC. Fair enough? I know it's kind of a crazy thing. And we might hit Libation live a little early tonight. So let's see if we can roll into this. So what I'm going to do is share with you my experience over the last 2 months of running Volta powered AC for days on end, and to share with you what this is like. So I plan my route pretty carefully, and it's digital, but it's pretty pen and paper. So this is my route plan, and I plan my route carefully because of needing to place reservations for harvest hosts, campgrounds. Maybe I'm street camping. I got Volta duties. I've got other client duties with Embassy RV and what have you. So I'm pretty meticulous on planning my route up to about 4 to 6 weeks out. So what you're looking at here, this is June. This is week 5 of June. I unplugged on Sunday the 26th, the week 4. See the red number 1 there? So that was Sunday night. I left my campground and I was doing a Cracker Barrel. Monday was day 2. I was at a friend's driveway in Forest Park. Then on the Tuesday the 28th, I was in Rockford at a harvest host. On Wednesday the 29th, I was in Rockford, where I had my fail with our guest from the deeded RV lots. I did plug into the shore power at Winnebago Motorhomes in Rockford for that one evening. So from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., I was plugged into shore power, but the rest of that 24-hour period, I was running off Volta, and the next day, the 30th, I was in Forest Park in another friend's driveway. The point being is, I was running literally 5 days minus 12 hours, running my AC 24/7, compressor on about, I don't know, 30% of the time to put cool air into the cabin. Let me show you a few more here that I'm going to talk about. So this is July, just a few days later. So Saturday the 16th, I was in Racine at a Harvest Host. On Sunday the 17th, I was at a Harvest Host. On Monday the 18th, I was at a Boondocker Welcome, where I stayed 3 nights. She was amazing. This is outside of Sheboygan. So it's 5 days in a row. And then on Thursday the 21st, the 6th day, I plugged into friends, she may be here tonight, Sherry, into her 15 amp circuit in her driveway. So that is 6 days running the AC 24/7, hot weather, plugging in the evening of the 6th day. One more for you here. Then let's chat about this. So this is August so far. So Monday, I unplugged from my campground Monday morning, 7 a.m. I street camped in Chicago neighborhood Andersonville that night, Monday night. Naperville, I was at Cracker Barrel last night. Today, I was supposed to be at the campground in Holland, but I didn't get there in time, so I'm running the 3rd day off Volta. I'll be plugged into the campground tomorrow night. So why do I bring all this stuff up? Because I'm able to run my air conditioner on all the 120 volt outlets in my van, powered by Volta, all during the day and night. How do I do that? I do that by doing 2 things. Let me bring this up. I drive, or I do what I call COD, charge on demand. Charge on demand is when I tell the Volta system that I want to put some juice into the battery. There's a manual way to do that. Using the chassis engine, the charge on demand runs for 1 hour, and it runs at high idle, about 1,500 RPMs, and I'm putting about 3,000 to 3,500 watts into the battery. And if I'm at a 20% state of charge on the gas gauge, the state of charge gauge, it goes from 20% to 70, maybe even 80%. So I'm putting in at least 50% into the battery at a 20% just charged rate. And I'm doing that 2 to 4 times a day. So 2 hours to 4 hours in a 24-hour period. And the more I drive during the day, the less COD I have to do during the day. So what I'll do here tonight, because I arrived here with about 85% state of charge. It's now at 70. I'm looking at the Volta gauge, and I'm not sure if I can do this without getting all this all screwed up. Right there in the green, right up here. What I'll do is let this run, and then when it gets to about 40% state of charge, I'll do a COD to fill the battery so that it will carry me through the night running my air conditioner. So that's how I do it, day after day, after day, after day. And the longest I've gone was 6 days in the last 30 days or so. And I will tell you, I have the little gas thing here. I used to not really pay attention to this. See a little gas pump there? But what I've discovered is if I'm doing 4 to 5 or even 6, depending on how much I really have to crank the compressor to run the AC to generate cold air, I'm noticing that anything north of 4, certainly 6 charge on demands a day, so 6 hours running the high idle, does consume gasoline on a fairly, it's not quite a quarter tank, but it's at least an eighth of a tank. I used to run this not as consistent on not being plugged into shore power, and I didn't have a good answer for that now. Now I do. If you are running 4 to 6 charge on demands in a day, that's a lot. But if that's what's needed to keep the van cool inside, I can now tell you that there is a consumption of the gasoline. So that's my experience. And that is why I'm so happy to have a Volta, a lithium equipped coach, because there is no way on earth I could do what I do running 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row, 90-degree heat in the summer, with a compressor running in the AC to keep the van cool. So I just wanted to share that with you. Now, what I'd love to do is hear from the folks that have a generator experience, because I'm thinking, that's where I'm going to lean on you all. If you have a generator and you have to run it for 5 days in a row, 24/7, and the generator, I think, has to stay going, but there's not a call on the load factor until the compressor comes on. Or does the AC automatically turn the generator on when it needs the compressor to run? What I've discovered is if I don't use auto mode, where the fan turns off when the compressor turns off, but leave the low cool or high cool, the fan stays on, I can run the compressor less, and it always is moving the air. And that was kind of our video we posted on Sunday. So let me search here in the comments. What I'm looking for is somebody to share with us a generator experience running multiple days, AC running 24/7, compressor maybe 30 or 40% of the time. And here's Whiskey Wednesday. Thank you. We're going to hit that in just a second. And share with me what that experience is like, because I think it's just important for people to understand when they're buying a van what the deal is about. Here's April in the house. Good time donuts in Holland. Oh, maybe we'll go hit that up. That's kind of cool. Okay, generator owners, van owners with generators. Let me know what you think. Let me scroll down here, see if we get some current information here. Let's see. So here's Rich. Thank you, Rich, for chiming in. So his Onan burns about ½ gallon at a 50% load per hour. And the I is for inverter. Cleaner power and more stable than 3500s. Overnight would burn about 4 gallons with AC and fridge. So, Rich, my question for you, sir, is if you're traveling with your lovely bride, and now you guys travel a little different. So you kind of travel to a place and you stay in like a hotel. But let's assume you were traveling for 3 or 4 days with the AC running when you're maybe not overnight, but the rest of the time it is. Let me know what that experience would be like. You'd have to run your generator 24/7 while you're in the van, right? So if you could help me out with that, that would be super interesting to me. So here's Frank and Sharon. So they have an Embassy RV. So we ran the AC for about 6 hours in direct sun at Museum in Kennedy. Used about half our battery. It kept our cat nice and comfy, which is awesome. That is so great. That's the whole kind of point of the thing, right? But I'm super curious, if you've taken multiple day trips, not plugging to shore power, you're kind of staying in the van overnight. What is that experience like with a generator? Because I can tell you from a Volta system, this thing is bulletproof, and it is it's just a technological miracle. Until you experience this in real time, it's really hard to convey how important this is. Let's see, I'm just scanning the comments here. Oh, we got Mason Mike in the house. Good to see you, sir. Maybe Mason Mike, he's got a system like mine, a Volta system. So let me know, Mason Mike, how many consecutive days have you run the AC? I mean, he lives in Phoenix, right? So it's like hot all the time. So if you can help us out, what has been your experience like driving a little bit during the day, and then doing 2 to 4 charge on demands in a day if you're not moving much? And I got a hot tip: if you do have a Volta system in particular, At the end at the end of the conversation, I'll give you a hot tip on how to really increase the amount of juice going into the battery just driving around in the city or on the highway. South Dakota in the house. That's pretty cool. Okay, searching for some. Probably should make lithium on the way to go. Okay, so here's Sparks sitting in his Nova rear bath with a generator. So Sparks, let us know, please. So let's say you're on a 3-day trip in the heat to keep the cabin cool, because those are way more insulated than my van, the Nova Coachman rigs. How much are you running the generator to keep the AC running to keep the van cool inside? On a 3-day trip, is the generator running 24/7 is my question. And if you're using auto mode when it's only turning on when there's a call for temperature and compressor, does the generator start up automatically? Or do you have to have it always running so that when there is a call on the thermostat, that the generator then has a load on it? Because I don't know. I would love to know that for sure. So look around in here. Yeah. And it is a second engine to maintain, and that's been one of the things that's been under the noise, the vibration, some other things. That's why it was turned off immediately. So here's Jonathan. All our lithium systems powerful enough to run van AC all night long in a hot environment like Florida, or is generator the best bet? That's kind of the crux of the matter. We're trying to figure out. I can tell you my experience. So doing a charge on demand, 2 hours in a 24-hour period, doing a little bit of driving. I have enough energy in my battery pack. I have almost a 9,000 watt stored in my battery pack that I can run my AC overnight from 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. to 8 a.m., 12 hours on a single charge. All the energy is focused in my bedroom to keep me cool. I'm not trying to cool the entire van, but just the bedroom at about 75 degrees. And I have the fan on all the time on the AC, and the compressor comes on about 2 minutes out of about every 8-minute cycle. And that's how I do that. And the charge on demand is only noisy for those 2 hours. That's the difference on a lithium system versus a generator. The generator, I think you have to have all the time going. And my friends in their Revel across 2 parking spots from me aren't running their AC. They were surprised I was running my AC overnight. So that's the crux of the matter. So I'm going to say, based on my experience, if you're planning to travel in the summer and you want to be not tethered to shore power, or you don't want a generator running 24/7 to get the AC juice needed to power the AC, the lithium is by far the best option. But you generator owners, you need to speak up. Because I don't know your story. Look at this, Donna. Woo! Super sticker. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. That almost paid for my Libation Live, which I think we're going to do right now. Let's keep the conversation going, though, because this is just literally a really hot topic. And it didn't really dawn on me until I started traveling days after day after day after day, just running my AC, driving around, doing a couple of charge on demand sessions, 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening, driving around a little bit, maybe 1 in the afternoon. That's it. 3 hours, 24 to have a AC on 24/7. So if you could, thank you, Don. I really do appreciate that. That's very sweet of you. You're just a cool cat. Everybody here is a cool cat. I dream of a Volta system. Oh, that's so great. So thanks for your videos. Led me to Amazing Travado, my home away from home, and I went lithium, never a question, right? Yeah, it's just the most amazing thing. And that's what I'm trying to do, is just convey my experience. So that if you're in the market for a van, think again, how are you going to travel? Because if you don't want to run your generator 24/7, then you are going from utility pole to utility pole in campgrounds, RV parks, what have you, to run your AC. And I run my AC even when I'm driving. So I have a cool van inside all the time. It's just amazing. Okay, searching for a few more here. So here's Tim. Again, thanks for sharing your story here. This is the community discussion tonight. So interested in Echo owner experiences too, those with a generator and those without, and how much power they get with those 2 Lithionics batteries. So Lithionics is the system that goes into an Echo and a Revel. Now they're way more insulated than my van, but nonetheless, if you're running the AC, it needs a power source. So Echo folks, if you are in the audience tonight or after the replay, let us know for sure. So again, Frank and Sharon are saying 6 hours direct sunlight. They're at an Embassy RV, which is way more insulated than mine. And I think, Frank and Sharon, unless you have the really big one that Embassy is putting out right now, you have about the same size battery that I do. So at 6 hours with the compressor running full time, that's pretty good, actually, because mine would consume, my battery is about 9,000 watts. The AC consumes 1,200 watts in an hour with the compressor running. So you're actually getting more juice because your system's on 12 volt versus mine is 48 volt. So that's pretty good. What do you think? Hot topic or not? Let's see. So here's Jane chiming in. Love the Volta system or Travado. Prior to motorhomes and generators. Never want to go back to a generator. Yeah, right. I totally agree with you. Here's Julie. Got a good question. Do you run your Volta going down the road? Yes. So the way it rolls is the Volta system is always on. Certainly if you're traveling in it. If you're parked at home and you're going to be in there for 2 weeks, you might unplug it or turn it off or plug it in and just leave it on shore power at the house. But the inverter would be on when the AC is running, and I run down the road with the inverter on and the AC running. So the cabin up front is cooled by the chassis, HVAC, and the back of the coach is cooled by the rooftop AC powered by Volta. Now, when I'm driving, I'm putting in anywhere from 6,000 to 9,000 watts in an hour, doing about 70 miles an hour. So that is way more than is needed to run the AC. So it's charging the battery and it's run the AC. And when I arrive, I have basically a full charge. So yes, I run my Volta all the time and I run my AC when I'm driving. Matthew wants to know, what apps do you use for trip planning? Good question. Apple Maps, Campendium, All Stays, Culture Trip would be another one. Harvest Hosts for sure. KOA if I need a campground. So I usually run 3 to 5 nights a week doing Harvest Host sites. And then I do a night or two a week using KOA campgrounds so that I can just plug into shore power, do my laundry, and just chill, being stationary. Let's take that off right now. So those are the big ones I use over and over. And then Apple Maps for navigation and Google searches sometime. So Tankfish has a question here. How does a charge on demand at high idle affect engine reliability? My engine's been, it's got 96,000 miles on it now. It did have a head gasket issue at about 49,000. I don't think that had anything to do with high idle. There was some kind of known issues. But what I'm told by Volta, and what is a big difference between some of the other systems that idle, this is with gasoline engine, by the way, everything I'm talking to you about, because a diesel can't do the idle to charge. The only one that does that, to my knowledge, is Storyteller Beast Mode. But the reason Volta chose high idle, which is 1,500 RPMs, is two reasons. One, that's when the engine is running its most efficient in terms of emissions and consumption of gas, and it allows them that 1,500 RPMs to spin the second alternator high enough to put in 3,000 watts in a single 1 hour, which, again, takes it from 20% to 70%, has been my experience. The lower the state of charge, the more it charges. That's kind of like your phone. When you plug in your phone to the wall and you got 20% left in your battery, it races to 70%, right? And then 70, 80 is slower, 80, 90 is slower still, and then 90 to 100 takes forever. And it's kind of the same deal here with this. But it's a Ram ProMaster setting and a Ram truck setting for the high idle. So it's approved by Ram in that regard. Okay, kind of looking for some, so we talked about this. So this is, again, the Onan. So it's actually taking a fair amount of gas, which is kind of interesting. Overnight would burn about 4 gallons on his generator with AC and fridge running. So for me, that would be probably 4 gallons would be like 5, 6 charge on demand sessions, 1 hour to consume about that same amount of gas. So it's kind of interesting. Um, let's see. So Karen's got a question here. Then we got to do Libation Live. Scott, when you do charge on demand, do you also run your cab AC? Fantastic question, and the answer is yes. So if I'm really wanting to put the juice in, I turn the AC off back here. If I'm doing all my work up front, then when the idle charge on demand session is going, I'm kind of cooling the front of the rig. And it kind of goes all the way, cool air goes back about halfway. But if I want maximum juice going in, least amount of discharge, I turn off the AC so that the HVAC from the chassis is doing that. And that is how I help keep it cool on both sides. So if I'm stationary, I'm absolutely using the chassis AC to do that. The reverse is true with heat. Now, you wouldn't run your heat off your Volta system, a lithium system. You run propane, but if it's really cold out, the propane's really efficient. But I would, if I'm doing a charge on demand in the wintertime, I would augment with the chassis heat. So that's how that works. So Rob's got a comment here. 104 degrees. The compressor is always on 4 days straight. Phoenix AC sounds like a jet plane plus add generator. You aren't sleeping. So that's kind of what I thought, that the generator has to be on 24/7 for the AC to run. So thank you for kind of helping me understand better, and all of us. I really appreciate that. Mesa Mike says, I do my system the same way you do, drive and charge, have my AC running as well in the back, so I don't have to waste my charge system cooling the fan once I get to my destination. Yeah, if you saw the video I put out on Sunday, the 5 tips, keeping your van out of the sun makes such a difference. So it doesn't get heat soaked, and by arriving at your destination with a cool van, it's not heat soaked, and it takes way less energy to keep it cool overnight. So here's Steve. I'm a heat wimp during the Pacific Northwest heat wave 2022. I put my van back in storage until the temperature goes away. We had 4 to 5 days. You should try it out, Steve. I think yours is a Volta equipped, right? It'd be don't be a wimp. You'll be okay. So here's Rich kind of, again, validating. The generator does not auto start when called by the AC. Generator must be running. It will run faster when the compressor kicks in. So that's what I thought. So again, if you're running 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row, the generator has to run 24/7 if you're running air conditioning. So this is super helpful to me. So again, van buyers, beware. If you're planning to travel in the summer, and I don't think summer is going to be any cooler than they're kind of going hotter every year, right? And if you're planning to travel, and you think you're going to get away with minimal AC and generator usage, these folks are kind of saying, think about carefully a lithium system. Because I can tell you, and you saw my notes there, I can run a whole month, really, without shore power by just charge on demand and or driving around a little bit. And my AC it's 75 degrees in here right now with a 57% humidity. And I'm at 60%. State of charge, 62, 64. Okay, let's switch gears because I will come back to this kind of throughout. So let me know if this has been helpful for you, and I really do appreciate those with generators. I don't like bashing on them. I just want to help people think it through and make the right decision. I made the right decision because there's no way I could travel the way I do. Even if you're going, again, for a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 day trip, maybe a couple weeks in the summer, your generator's on all the time, unless you're going from shore power to shore power, which is okay. But I really appreciate you helping us there. Okay, so let me just skip through a few of these, and I'm happy to answer other questions on any of this other stuff. Enjoying this at all? Hope I'm not too preachy. Hey, yeah, we got stickers. If you're into stickers, we have stickers available. Go to my website, gosmalllivelarge.com, get your stickers. If you haven't joined me on Instagram, I do some fun things. Like this was an actual example of shore power. Let me zoom in here for you. That I posted on Instagram. They're about 30 seconds worth. And that's where the term shore power comes from, because this is power at the shore for the boaters. I'm guessing this is where shore power comes from. I actually don't know that for certain, but I'm thinking that's a pretty good guess. What do you think? Jeez. Whew, finally. Holy cow. I'm actually going to get a cold one because this has been sitting here for a minute. Hold on, boys and girls. This is a porter, and it's Old Shuck, and it's from the brewery just literally across the street here. I'm so excited to go back. And they have tacos too. So for those of you that are kind of new to the program, here's how this came about 2 ways. Number one, Traveling Robert on his live every Friday, his YouTube live, he's always got an IPA in his hand, right? And I thought, well, that's kind of cool. But more importantly is I just find these great tastes on the road: food, wine, beer, spirits. And I just want to share with you where I got it, why I got it, and maybe you can even find it online. So this is let me go one page here. So this is Old Shuck, which is a London style porter. And it's actually pretty low in alcohol. Most porters are pretty stiff, like 10 to 15%, in my experience anyway. A stout. So this is in my Luckenbach Texas glass. Every beverage tastes better in a Luckenbach Texas glass. So let's, so you'll see how dark that is, right? Ooh, that looks so good. I had a little taste inside, but I've not had a big taste. That's so good. Boy, that coffee is right up front. Holy cow. Coffee, chocolate, vanilla, maybe just a hint of cinnamon. I'm not a huge cinnamon fan. I got really drunk and sick on Goldschlager. I can't stand cinnamon because of that. Self-poisoning. So this is, the name of the place is North Pier Brewing Company. And here's the beer. Here's Old Shuck. What are you drinking tonight? Let me know that. So Old Shuck's right there. Deep brown, deep dark brew is an ode to Old Shuck, the ghostly demon dog that roamed the countryside in the 16th century in England. Yeah, big coffee light, no kidding. Pairs perfectly with a late addition of earthly English hops. Roasty ale to drink all year round. But they have a pretty good selection inside. And I almost bought, they had craft seltzers. I would love to try one of those. I might do that when I go back in. But I'd say for a porter, this is fairly light. Now, the good news is I have 3 more cans. So if you're coming to the Volta campout, not only am I hauling up my whiskey collection, and maybe I'll save these for us. And again, here's the whole point of Harvest Host, in my opinion, is it takes me places I wouldn't go. There's no reason I would be in Benton Harbor, Michigan, certainly tonight, if it wasn't for this Harvest Host place, Harvest Host site. So I gave him a big thumbs up inside, and we've got 1, 2, 3, and there's 4, and I'm 5. They got 5 parking spots, or 10, and there's 5 RVs here tonight. So this is just great. I'll go talk with the Rebel people when I get inside after the show tonight. What else do I have to say about these guys? So Libation Live. Yeah, if you're having fun tonight, give me a thumb up. I'm just all over the place. My Monday started so weird. For those of you that have had a colonoscopy, you know the 48 hours before that is not fun. Horrible. But for good reason. Okay, let's see. Okay, more temperature control summer stuff here. So I recently, as Mike says, had the windshield replaced and the UV. Oh, here comes another one. RV into Harvest Host. That's a big C-Class. That's a C-Class for sure. Alongside my front windows, purchased Van May gear shades. As well, so game changers, really. Very curious about that. So, hey, Mason Mike, if you do me a favor and send me a note, a text or an email, maybe we'll make that a van tip. I'm trying to get van tips front loaded from y'all. So if you can help me out with that, but I'm really glad. And that's just the key to traveling in the summer and kind of living in Phoenix and Texas these days is heat management by keeping the heat, that'd be the sunlight, out of your van and off your van. Because then the AC doesn't have to work as hard and your battery lasts longer, or your generator can be turned off. So here's Alfred. Oh, Alfred, thanks. Oh, hey, you're a cool cat. We met, right? At the Rancho Cucamonga. I think you're the right one. I find that when I'm camping in Southern California, I usually only need to run one, maybe two charge on demand sessions every 2 hours. Yeah, me too. So you're right on the point here. He clearly has a Volta system or similar. And yeah, 2 hours. And again, that's the big deal between a generator and a lithium system, boys and girls, is we put 2 hours of noise in the environment and we're good for 24 hours. And that's a big distinction, a huge distinction, actually. Um, Again, not judging generator folks, but if you are in the shopping mode, you really need to think through, why do you want to RV? How will you be RVing? And then what RV system enables your how, answering your why. And that's why we really zero in on this. So here's Tang saying, I think Volta came out with a fanless DC to DC converter, even less noise. Volta is a 48-volt system, so it's going to get pretty big fuel tank. Yeah, yes, you're exactly right. I think some of the newer systems are DC to DC, because this Volta is a 48 volt, so you have to have a direct current to direct current, stepping it down from 48 to 12 volts to run the 12 volt appliances in the van, which is mostly lights, the fan, the water pump. Appreciate that. And then Alfred kind of continues here. When I'm on the move, I usually don't have to do any charge on demand sessions. Matter of fact, I rarely look at my state of charge gauge. Yeah, if you're moving a bunch, and let me give you a tip on that for reminding me, is so do this carefully. I don't want anybody to burn up their engine. But if I am not driving much in terms of distance or time, I manually shift the gears on the van. Fourth gear for city streets, fifth gear for highways. The sweet spot is about 2,500 RPMs on the engine, and that's putting in about 6,000 to 9,000 watts into the battery. So if I'm driving around town, very carefully monitoring RPMs on the engine, because if you leave it in drive, it drops all the way down to 12, doing 35 or 40 miles per hour. But if you keep it in fourth gear, it's going to run between 2,000 and 2,500, and that allows me to charge the battery faster because the RPMs on the engine are spinning the aperture, is that what you guys call it, on the second alternator. And that's how 20, 30, 40 minutes of drive around in the town or even on the highway in fifth gear, 2,500 RPMs on the engine, that puts tons more juice into the system. And if you're a Volta owner and you don't have the app, please get the app, because you can see all this in real time. And it's a great point. And Alfred, just thank you again for kind of validating this stuff tonight. I really do appreciate it. Let's see. So MudPie wants to know, do the 2020-21 Torontos have more insulation than your 19? Absolutely. Mine has, I have none over the wheel wells. You can look under my bed and slide the thing open, and you got the steel wheel well looking at me. Same with the bathroom. The bathroom walls, I'm pretty sure, have nothing. There's a little bit on my cabinet in my galley, but this wall opposite me might have some. But if I take my seat off for my trim furnaces, it's a steel floor. So it's pretty crazy. So to answer your question, yes, they're much better now. Embassy RV is super well insulated. Storytellers, super well insulated. The craft builders, like Rover Vans, super well insulated. And that's a huge key. But you're still, as Terry mentioned on our YouTube Live on Friday, if you saw that it's still a van at the end of the day. And the more glass you have in a van, the more the heat comes through all those points. And up here in the cab, it's a huge greenhouse. So you can have all the insulation in the world in the walls, floor, and ceiling, but if you have your cab flooded with sunlight, you can add about 15 to 20 degrees on the interior temps. That's why Mason Mike is putting his cool things in here, in his windows. Let's see, Donna, I've heard that some campgrounds don't let you run generators at night. Is that true? Yeah, if you have shore power, they don't want you to run your generator and just plug in. Now, I have noticed a lot of, I'll say like county parks. I don't do it in a lot of national parks and city parks where there is shore power available. Yeah, they don't want you to run your generator. A lot of harvest hosts now have said no generators during quiet hours, 10 p.m. to like 7 a.m. Because have that droning going on, it just kills the mood. So if you're, going to buy your nice stout porter, sorry, and you're kind of hanging out by the pond, which is right behind me here, at 10 p.m., look at the moon coming up, and somebody's got their generator going. I get why, clearly, but it's just such a mood killer. One good thing about the rooftop being above my bed, it creates white noise, so I rarely hear the noise outside. But yeah, I would say Howard's Host in particular, no generators overnight. It's becoming okay. Let's see what else we got going on here. You guys are talking, which is great. Matthew, there is, and I need to write this down. So when I'm at Volta headquarters starting tomorrow through Monday, I'm going to get a cheat sheet because I should know this and I don't. Is there a conversion for amp hours to watt hours? If you saw the Embassy live we did on Friday with Terry Minix of Embassy RV, he kind of went through this. The challenge is that 12 volts run on one math equation and 48 volts runs on another. And I don't know that off the top of my head. So I'm not going to be, here we go. Amp times volt equals watts. But yeah, so if I have, so what's the reverse of that? So if I have 9,600 watts in my battery, how many amps is that? Running at 12 volt or 48 for that matter? I don't know. Here's Deborah kind of confirming that. Thank you for helping out. Just been fun tonight, everybody. We have a big group in here, which is just so awesome. Deborah wants to know how's the Integra coming along? That would be to Rich, which is great. Yeah, most of them say no generators because you're sitting next to shore power. So kind of what's the point, right? Although it is kind of funny. Tease is if I'm just staying the night, and there's been times where I don't plug in, even if there's shore power, and if I'm running my AC or something like that, because I don't need the juice to run those appliances necessarily. So Cracker Barrel. So there was a guy. He was in a diesel semi tractor, no trailer, just the cab, and he was idling his diesel engine all night to run his internal AC. It was drowned out by my rooftop AC, but it was so annoying when I got up this morning and noticed what he was doing. I'm like, what? I see a lot of generators overnight at Cracker Barrels. Question here. I'm not sure if this was discussed, but recently saw that the new Torontos have a new generator that is very quiet and can be run in national parks. I've heard that too, Mark. I haven't tried one at a dealer lot. I will do that because I'm doing a bunch of training over the next few weeks, and we'll see if we can get a bead on that. The decibels are, from what I've heard from other folks in this audience and elsewhere, is while it is quieter outside, there is still that droning noise and still vibration that the generator puts in the van. But I think the noise inside would probably be drowned out by the AC, would be my guess. If anybody has any experience on that, let us know. So local hounds here. I rented a 59 GL for an outdoor concert in Daytona for 4 days. I ran the AC nearly 24 hours at full cold. At the end of the third night, I was about a fourth, maybe eighth left with will Jen burn more? I'm curious if you did some charge on demands. I'm guessing you probably did if the compressor was running the full time, because you run that down pretty fast. But you kind of got the whole point here, right? Which is run your Volta system, charge on demand 2-3 hours a day if you're stationary, and that's all you need to do. 2-3 hours, and you're good for 24. So I hope that. So thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. So Gary, are you joining us for the camp out? That'd be great to see you there, sir. So he has Volta system fix on July 18 in Holland. Have been plugged in since. Hot everywhere. Auto start works. Yeah, it's pretty magic, right? So I think what he's talking about here, auto gen feature can turn on generator, then AC based on timer temp. So it's probably depending on the rig you're in. Spark Sky, if you can help us out with which van you're talking about, that would help. Wow, look, we're at the top of the hour already. Let's go another few minutes here. So Mark's saying he's going to convert his generator to a more silent type, which you just swap it out, I'm guessing. You probably do that with a dealer, Mark. I'm not sure. Would have enjoyed a Volta system, but hard to find. Yeah, I'm excited to get an update from the team on where they are on shipping stuff. So Julie's saying, thank you for answering my question. I'm looking at the 2022 GL Travato with lithium. Currently have a generator RV, which ... Yeah, that's the whole purpose of the conversation. I just have you really think through, because there's no way I can do what I do, or even if you're taking like a 5-day trip, we now know that you got to run your generator 24/7 to have the AC available, which is pretty amazing to think about. And what we do is just a couple of 3 hours a day, and we're good to go. So here's Mark chiming in. Scott, with my new Nova, I have to run the generator to run the AC. No other way around it unless on shore power. Haven't tried multiple days. Nova has an auto generator start, and it can be set to go off when it needs to. So that's kind of cool. But what I found is you can maximize the cooling in the van by keeping it on high cool or low cool, and let the fan just move the air around, and then the compressor comes on for a couple of minutes and then turns off. And all that cold air the cold that's stored in the unit is then, after the compressor turns off, is run around for another minute or two. So you really get some extra thing. So I'm curious if the generator has turned, if the compressor turns off, the generator turns off, you're not getting that extra airflow. Maybe you can keep it on not auto, so that will the fan ways. What an interesting night tonight. I hope you guys have had fun. So Local Hounds, can you do 4 days with heat with the onboard propane? Oh, for sure. Propane's super. You go for, I don't even know. What's my longest time with a propane? 7? I don't even know until it runs. I have a half tank rule. When I get to half tank, I fill it up on propane. But in the fall and winter months, endless really with propane. Just keep it filled up. Good question though. I would not use electric heat off the battery, because that will drain your battery faster than anything. It's the most consumptive appliance in the van is the Truma electric heat. So you never want to use that on battery unless you're plugged into shore power. I made that mistake twice, once in March in Arkansas, in a Walmart parking lot, thinking I was going to save propane, running electric heat off my battery, and my 10 p.m. went to bed, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, woke up, van was almost literally freezing cold because the battery was dead. Because it consumes about 3,000 watts on the Truma with the electric furnace, so it's just crazy. Okay, just searching for a few more things. I think I got one more thing to share with you folks. Let's just talk about this quick. What a crazy night tonight. A little off the cuff. I hope that's okay with you. It's just really been on my mind, this whole AC thing in the summer. Volta Camp talked about that. It starts tomorrow. I'm so excited. It's sold out. They might have a couple spots available, so you might hit up Volta. I know a few folks weren't able to make it, so they might have a wait list. Coming out of Michigan, we're headed to Pennsylvania to do this huge RV show, the biggest in America. We got stuff lined up already. It's going to be a crazy week, and so we're going to do a roundup on the 17th of September, 11 a.m. at the General RV Travato booth. So come see me there. And Adventure Van Expo, we're going to Chattanooga the first weekend in October. Sunday the 3rd, 11 a.m., we're doing a meetup at the Rover Vans booth. I'm really, really excited about that. Okay, search for a few more questions. Going a little long tonight because you guys got some good stuff going on here tonight. And then I got my song of the week, so hang tight for that. So Mud Pie is saying there are some AutoStar generators equipped Class B, still noisy, but more reliable for pets. Yeah, for sure. So Robin's got a question here. How do you keep the compressor from running? By raising up the temp on the thermostat? Yes, that's exactly right. So overnight, what I do is I have at least an 80% state of charge on my battery, and then I close the vents, the baffle, so that none of the air is coming up front where I'm currently sitting. I direct all the vents on the bedroom, on me, and I dial up the thermostat to about 70, 8, which means it's probably 75 in the bedroom. And I leave the fan on so the mode is low cool at 78 degrees. And then the compressor is running right now. It runs for about 2 minutes, a little bit less, of about an 8-minute cycle. And that keeps things very pleasant overnight. And that's how I'm able to do that. If I had the compressor running 100% of the time, the battery would be dead in about 8 hours. It's just a math problem, right? My battery's 8,600 watts. Divided by 1,200 watts, that's how many hours it would run. 6 hours maybe. And frankly, it's too cold to have the compressor running all the time in the bedroom. So that's how I do that. You raise the temperature up, redirect the airflow, and then leave it on low cool is what I do. Great question. And it's fail safe. It's just fail safe. And every morning I wake up, state of charge goes from 80 down to 40, 30, or 20, depending on how hot it is outside overnight and how heat soaked the van is from the daytime, because I wasn't able to get it out of the sunlight. You guys are talking some good stuff in here tonight. I just love this. Yes. Thank you for that, Deborah, sharing there. Rich wants to know what you do for medical insurance. The good news is I have a spouse, a partner, and he's got a good corporate job, and so I'm on his insurance. So that's pretty good. Although I'm having to come back to Chicago for medical stuff, unless it's nothing too serious. I'm going to go see a urgent care thing. Yeah, Karen, thanks for sharing that. Local Haunts. I just love how y'all talk amongst yourselves. It's so awesome. This is a great community. I just, I was, last week, we had Storyteller on, and Kat Morgan joined us, and I was kind of saying I was a little envious of the Storyteller community. In some ways I am. It's a very different crowd. But the Go Small, Live Large community, I am so proud of each and every one of you. And as the benevolent dictator, I guess, fearless leader, what we've been able to create over the last few years is just really magic. And when I get to meet you in person and going to hang out with somebody this weekend, we're going to hang out with the Russos. I mean, can it get any better than that? Volta and the Russos and whiskey for 3 days. Holy cow. So I really appreciate y'all being in here. I know, colonoscopy. Oh, God. It was, I got pictures of my colon. Anybody want to see my colon? It's really interesting. Jeez. I almost thought about putting one on there tonight, but you don't want to see the inside of my colon. I didn't, but that's what I got. Hey, Local Hunt, thanks for that. Look at that. Woo! Thanks for the subject and the fans. Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for joining us. I really appreciate that. Let's see. This is so true, Fair. The colonoscopy, the prep is way more torture than a procedure. Now, I will tell you, I did the prep in my van Sunday night. So I had no solid food from Saturday at 4 p.m. And at 6 p.m. Sunday night was the first dosage of the prep stuff, which makes your insides evacuate everything. And that first round was kind of gross for sure. But you know what? My toilet is 6 feet that way. And I was really glad it was only 6 feet away. And the morning was the next one, and it was a little nicer. But yeah. So here's, Deborah's got a tint question. If some of you can help with that. Andrew's on is Travado. GL. What's your year, sir? 18,000 miles, perfect condition. Let me know if anybody's interested. Probably somebody is. You got depending on the year, you've got a beautiful, beautiful van. What year? 2019. Woo, same as me. Get it. Hurry. What are you asking for? I'm curious if you want to share that. So Sparks Guy, we're actually going fairly long tonight. This is great. Hope you don't mind. If you need to get run to supper or something like that, what's everybody drinking? It's just been a cheeky week for me. Oh my God. So Sparks Guy, what is the current retail price of Volta system when it's an option on a B van, and then add the loss of the generator? My guess is 25 grand. Yeah, it's about 25 grand. If you get the 4 battery module system, it's about 5,000 for that extra battery module. So 25 is probably about right. You probably delete like 3 grand for the generator. Maybe if somebody's had that experience more recently. they can help us out with that if you don't mind sharing that price. Um, Worth every penny, and you will get every penny back when you go to sell your van, would be my guess. Look at this, Gilbert. Good to have you here, sir. Look at this. Finally picking up his 2021 GL National Park Edition this weekend. Over 100 watching and only 48 likes. If you're watching and it doesn't cost you anything, give Scott a thumb up. Yeah, give me a thumb up. Just smash that like button a little bit for me. Wow, you've got a beautiful system. If I was not in my van, I got run over by a train, that's exactly what I would go buy. It's got the 4 batteries. It's got the cool wheels. I'd have to lift it. I would have to wrap it. But that's exactly what I would buy. It's got the old floor plan like I have. Congrats. Thank you, Gilbert. Really, that's my bar tab. The harbor shows when we get done. Just a few more minutes. I really appreciate that, sir. You're always generous on the What's Up Wednesday. Appreciate that. He's so this is good. Alfred, I might know a thing or two about being in a van for a little bit of time, so I'm glad it worked out for you, sir. Yeah, and Karen's saying the same thing here. So I've done the manual gear manipulation to get the alternator charging using app to monitor. It's exactly right. What I'm actually doing now is putting my iPad in the cab window with the Apple this thing. I'm not sure, the smart cover, something they call this thing. And I monitor the voltage going in, the state of charge, because it's all digital. If I can show you, actually. But you're doing it exactly right. And be sure to watch your RPMs. I actually don't watch the speedometer. I look at the RPMs of the van. So this is my this is Volta happening right now. So this is the connection. So state of charge. So what you can see here is, this is not going to be great to see, but again, this is kind of the point. So the system is currently drawing 485 watts. You see the bar or the graph chart there, and then 500 watts being consumed. That's the inverter on, the AC on, fan on, but no compressor. We'll wait a minute for it to have the compressor come on. But I monitor this from bed because my iPad goes to bed with me, and when we get in the middle of the night to use the restroom, I look at this to see where it is, and I make a decision. But I don't do the auto start for overnight because I routinely end up in the morning, 6, 7 a.m. with 20 to 30% state of charge. So now I probably will hit this before I go to bed, and that'll bring it up and get me through the night. So wait for the compressor to turn on. But this is such a great conversation tonight, and y'all are just doing it the right way, which is so great. And they tinted their stuff. The windows, huge difference. So Andrew did as well. Let's see. For Volta, you need the Bluetooth adapter for the app to work. Volta sells them direct. For people like me that have the old system, yes, it's like $125. The new ones come with it right out of the gate, so you don't need to go buy that anymore. Your dealer, maybe somebody will know specifically, but certainly 2021, 2020, I think, and beyond had that Bluetooth adapter already installed. So now look at this. You guys are so smart. The 2020.5, excuse me, and forward. Let's see. Good question here, Alfred. Did you ever ask Volta if we can upgrade our system to the LCD display? Would love to do that to mine. I did, and you're not able to. So currently, what he's talking about is rather than the manual gauge, there's a digital readout. It's a little smarter for sure. It's available in Storyteller, the Tiffin, I'm guessing the Airstream, and I'm speculating that Winnebago will include that soon, but the Winnebago Tornadoes I'm in are still the analog gauge, which I kind of like, actually. I'm kind of old school, right? Okay, let's do the song of the week, and let's call it a wrap. Oh, look at this, Mason Mike, Health of My Habit. Thank you, sir. Healthy living is still pumping the iron consistently. Yes, sir. So what he's referring to, where's my thing, is if you haven't seen my video on getting healthy, because I was not healthy. So this is the app. So this is my Fitness Pal. You can't really see it. So what I'm going to do is show you my numbers this morning. So I'm tracking my numbers. I have a body composition scale. So this is my numbers from this morning. Will you show up and see this? Give it a second. Nope. It ain't going to show. About 166 pounds, 20.2% fat, 58.4% water, 23.8 BMI. One good thing from the colonoscopy, it kind of lightened my load a little bit. But yeah, it's doing well. I did strain this shoulder a tiny bit, so that's kind of a bummer, but it's going well. Thanks for asking, man. Appreciate it. Okay, let's see. Okay, we're gonna go for 4 more minutes. We still got a bunch of people in here. This is so great. This might be my longest What's Up Wednesday ever. Deborah Wasso, do you by chance have a site where you note lessons learned? I have questions. Yeah, it's kind of like every YouTube video I put out. I'm closing in on almost 500 videos now, and we just passed 3.5 million views. So if you go to my YouTube channel page, Go Small Live Large, I think you can actually search just my site, my YouTube page. But that's the best place. Everything in there is by real world experience from me. So I don't have a specific lesson learned page. It's kind of an interesting idea. So here's Andrew. Selling his 2019 59 GL, 18,000 miles, many upgrades, 108 grand. Stampede your way to Andrew. How can people get in touch with you, Andrew? I don't know, maybe if you want to share a Instagram handle, something like that, or if you want to, Andrew, email me, gosmalllivelarge@gmail.com, and have an email address or something like that you want to share. I'll be the mitigating factor, and then those folks can email me, and we'll make it. You're looking to get rid of that van, sir. I'd love to know why. Bummed you are, but nonetheless, maybe you're getting a different van. Okay, so I'm searching real quick for some more questions, and thanks for sharing that information. Really appreciate it. That seems to me like a steal, because I think it was a few What's Up Wednesdays ago, we looked at used Travato prices, Volta equipped, and we kind of figured out the average price was about 125-ish, 125,000. So if you're asking 108, that's actually what I paid for my van back in 2018. So boys and girls, if you are serious about getting a 19 GL, oh my God, what a great van you're going to get your hands on for 108 grand. That's amazing. Okay, let's do this. And so song of the week, love to do song of the week. So this one is kind of fun because this is Kenny Chesney, Trip Around the Sun. Have you ever heard this song before? It's a real toe tapper. There's a couple reasons why this one is, I really like Kenny Chesney. He's kind of got the, well, it comes from Tennessee. What's not to like about, he's a couple of years younger than me, which, 3 to be exact. He kind of has a Gulf, meaning ocean, and Western style music, which I do like a great deal. And in fact, like it so much, I'm going to his concert in Detroit on August 20th of this year. That concert I bought tickets for back in 2019. The concert was supposed to happen in August of 2019. Here we are, 2022, 3 years later, and we finally get to go see Kenny Chesney. I'm so excited in Detroit. That's one reason I'm going to be in Detroit at the end of the month. But if you haven't heard this song, it's a real toe tapper, and Trip Around the Sun. So spin up your music app and check that out. And so he's putting a link in here. Oh, this is great. Let's give him a minute. I don't see a link in here, Andrew, but if you got a link to like RV Trader or something like that, hurry and post it in here, or put it in the comments after this posts tonight. Yeah, Kenny's really cool. He's kind of a stud too, right? Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. Love Kenny's live concerts are incredible. It's been over 5 years. I'm kind of expecting it to be a little bit like, oh, golly. Um, I can hear the song. I can't think of the name of the band. But anyway, it's just over the top experience. I'm super excited. Um, all right, folks. With that, we're called a wrap. Man, this is our 8:21 Eastern time. So just a big cheers to you all. Hope I get to see some of you in person this weekend at Volta headquarters and the camp out. It's going to be so much fun doing some teaching, some fellowship, and learning a ton more about the value proposition of lithium. We've talked about that quite a bit tonight, and watch for that van tour coming up on Sunday. I'm really excited for you to see it and give feedback on this new style with my editing team. And I'm just appreciate each and every one of you. You really drive me forward to do new and crazy, inventive things to get the word out, so we can help change more lives, which is the whole point. Because when you're doing what you love, it's a lot of work, but it's so fulfilling, and it's just an honor to have you here. So thank you very much. Until we see you next week on What's Up Wednesday, wish you to journey on, stay cool in this hot summer. I'm going to go get a taco at the brewery. See you, everybody.